imagine you're talking to someone who is just getting started playing.
Mm.
They want to know, is it even possible if they can't read music? Number 2, what sort of equipment should they get? Can you actually get pipes off of Amazon? And how are they going to have to proceed if they want to go for competition?
Okay.
And I will repeat those points to you later if you want.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think we should probably reference our in-house musician. Rocky gave us
I threw my tin whistle over there somewhere earlier.
It's been tossed. It was chucked, actually, but can you read sheet music?
No.
Okay, well...
I had a book with a bunch of, here, cover these holes for these fingers, and that's how you play a song.
As a piper, we memorize all of our music anyway, and bagpipes specifically have a long history of singing. Like, if you're unfamiliar, bagpipes have a language, it's cataract, and you can sing the tunes with the right vowels and syllables to match the embellishments and the theme notes, and it's delightful. It's delightful. It's the language of pibroch, basically.
Got it.
And it was passed down through song instead of sheet music because a lot of people who were writing these pieces were not musically literate or literate at all. They could not write. And so that's kind of like the history of where the instrument comes from. So I feel like it really is the perfect place for somebody who wants to learn a musical instrument and learn something that doesn't require you to be staring at a sheet of paper and it's like this when you're trying to perform. Because I never have sheet music out when I'm performing. It's just you memorize everything. And so if you can skip the step of having to learn the tune on sheet music, that's not really a problem. As a musician outside of the bagpiping realm, I do think knowing how to read sheet music is important, and it's a lovely skill and it's a helpful skill. It takes the pressure off of you really to have to find somebody else to teach you a tune. But I know a lot of very proficient, expert, top level players who either could not or still can't read sheet music in and outside of the bagpiping world, who have a great ear. And that's how they learn, is by ear. For example, all of my TikTok stuff, I learn by ear. I don't find sheet music and transcribe sheet music, and that's how I do everything. It's a combination usually. And that combination is part of my teaching with the students that I do have is we'll learn by ear, we'll practice ear training, I'll teach them some sheet music because, again, it's a valuable skill to be able to self-teach tunes that you want to find, but it's not necessary. If you're wanting to start learning bagpipes, you do not start on a full bagpipe. This is my bagpipe. This is what it looks like. You don't start on a full bagpipe. You actually start on a smaller instrument called a practice chanter, which is kind of reminiscent of the whistle that you played earlier. That has a little plastic reed inside. And that's where you learn all of the tunes, the embellishments, hand posture, and everything before you have to start tackling this multifaceted, multi-reeded instrument on your shoulder. Bagpipes are very unique in that way, where you start on one instrument and kind of graduate to the next. And so you would want to look for a nice practice chanter. You can probably find some decent practice chanters on Amazon if you really want to, or you can look up bagpipe retailers like Bagpipe Practice Chanter. Anything with a Mick in front of it is usually a good sign. McCallum, McClellan, G1, Henderson, if it's a Scottish looking last name.
R.G. Hardy's or
Hardy's. But any practice chanter will really do. It's a lot more forgiving than a whole bagpipe, but please do not buy a bagpipe. Please do not buy a bagpipe on Amazon.
So what kind of, for someone who's getting started and wants to buy a chanter?
Yes,
okay.
Practice chanter.
What should they expect to spend? Now, if you buy a cheap practice chanter, it's going to sound bad.
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Yeah, not necessarily. I think one of my favorite practice chanters to play is the first one that I have got. It's my beginner practice chanter. I've had it since I started 13 years ago.
Now, what was the price of that?
$50.
Okay. There are much less expensive ones.
I think the average low-end practice chanter that you can purchase is around, now in 2023, $50-$60.
I'm talking imported as in, like made in Pakistan, made in China.
$20,
yeah, like
ones.
really, really cheap ones that are going to sound
Gotcha.
Yeah. No matter what you do with them.
Yeah, I would look for not a wooden not a wooden chanter. If it's a wooden chanter and it's $50, then it's a piece of firewood.
Garbage. Yeah.
Or garbage. But we like to repurpose. If it doesn't have any weird varnishes on it, it can be firewood. So reduce, reuse, recycle. Please don't burn instruments. But yeah, usually decent practice chanters are actually a synthetic material. I would check out g1reeds.com. They have a pretty inexpensive practice chanter, and that's what I usually recommend to people. But yeah, you can get McCallum, McClellan, Hardy, Henderson. They all have plastic practice
chanters.
That'll be decent quality. They're really durable. Great for kids too. You drop them, they're not going to break. So
yeah,
my black beginner practice chanter was tossed out of a cab in Scotland and survived. But you can also get higher quality ones.
I have questions about why a practice chanter was tossed out of a cab, but I'll leave that.
We love World's Week. It's a crazy time for sure. Somebody else found it and they identified it because it had a sticker on it, and they were like, I know whose that is.
Oh, nice.
So I got my chanter back. And I still play it all the time. And then there's my more showy chanter that I'll play like in stage shows. That one's the Maverick chanter. It's a very high quality chanter. It's a little bit like around $200, which is still so reasonable for a musical instrument. But that I'll record with sometimes, like it's a good instrument. So that's how much you can expect to spend on a higher quality practice chanter if you're looking for something. You have a little bit of extra money to spend on this hobby or maybe career that you're starting to get into. That's what you can expect to spend on the higher end. And then on the lower end, I wouldn't get anything maybe less than $50. That's usually a bad sign. I think the decent retailers in the market, that's the lower end of what they'll offer.
Okay.
So
yeah, that's good to give people a baseline of what they should expect. And that goes back to the if it's too good, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. So yeah, just people need to know about where to start and where to start looking.
I do just want to briefly add with bagpipes, you can find some definite steals in terms of like reselling and things like that in secondary instruments. But if it's less than $900, it's probably not real. And I mean that in terms of like it might be a stolen photo, as if you have any experience with that. But yeah, so if the price is really low and it looks like a real, visually, that looks like a bagpipe that I've seen people play, I would double check on that and do a little bit of buyer beware. Yeah. But an average decent bagpipe that will get you sound and won't fall apart on you, and it will work and you can get a good tune out of it, will probably be about $1,000 US. That would be a starter level.
Starting point, yeah.
I have a great set of bagpipes that I, played in the Worlds. That's around what they were, I think $1,200-$1,300. And then I have some that are valued much higher. Then I have some, I think the set that I play is around there as well. So they're not going to be bad bagpipes, but if it's $100 on Amazon or $300 for a kit on Amazon, it won't work. And you should just save your money and put that into a practice chanter and a few lessons. Yeah,
there's actually a whole, I've seen YouTube videos of musicians / tinkerers, if you will, who specifically go out and buy like the $100 set of bagpipes, the $50 set of bagpipes made, overseas, and then try to make them sound good.
I was thinking about doing that, but I also don't want to support it.
Yeah, and it takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of patience, and fine-tuning to make something sound reasonable even.
Or even function sometimes.
Yeah. So ultimately, if you're going to do this, or no matter what you're doing, generally in life, buy it from a reputable vendor and vet the company that you're buying from. Because if it looks bad and they have or if it looks good, but they have a ton of horrible reviews, either through Yelp or the Google reviews or whatever, all the people are saying like, this is not what it said it was, it's a ripoff, don't do it, you should probably listen at some point. Unless you want to waste your money, Godspeed, good luck. I don't have money to waste. Do you have money to waste?
Only on very specific things. I'll waste it though.
Fair. But don't waste your time. Get the right thing for the right job.
And I've noticed as well, I think There must be just some. I know there's fakes everywhere, but must be something within the community too. There's a lot of. I get it all the time. People tag me in their fake kilt shop posts. I get tagged in a lot of posts from kilt shops that are selling kilts for like $20. If you're getting a kilt for $20, it's not a. I did one time buy a kilt off of Amazon. It was an emergency. And it's a piece of garbage. It's a piece of garbage. I'll tell you, it's nasty. I should bring it sometime and you can look at it just for fun. But there are a lot of people out there who are trying to capitalize off of people wanting to be involved in the culture. And they'll spam you and, with these really crappy products for a low price and kind of like give you a false sense of security. But the fast fashion of bagpiping and kilts is horrific.
Yeah.
Like with fast fashion, you can at least wear the shirt. You know what I mean? Like this is not it's not that situation. It's a scam.
Now, when they're tagging you in the videos, I'm curious: are they tagging you, or are they hashtags, and are they trying to do it? In my opinion would be they're probably trying to do it just so that it gets more views on the post or whatever, which is kind of a shitty thing to do anyway. To utilize someone else's brand for your own, exploitive purposes.
There's on Instagram, if you're not familiar, there's a tab where you can see tagged posts.
Mm-hmm.
And so for influencers, that's usually where you'll find their friends who've tagged them in posts on their own pages, and that's where you'll find collaborative things that they've done, and they'll be tagged. It's on a separate section, so anybody can tag me in a post. And in that way, it can still show up on my profile.
That is so bad.
Because all of my followers can go see it. And, if somebody tags me in a video, let's say it's on TikTok, if somebody searches at piper.alley on TikTok, it's going to come up with my videos, of course. They're going to be there. But it's also going to come up with everybody who tags me in their mentions. And so when they're using my name, when they're using my likeness or things of that sort, whether I want it to or not, that can get pushed out to my audience, which is unfortunate. And I actually very heavily watch my mentions, especially on Instagram, because I get a lot of kilt shop.
Oh,
ones.
I know. Oh no, the number of companies that contact us from Pakistan specifically, like, hey, we can make kilts for you, and you need to do this. We partner with you on this. It's like, no, just leave me alone. You do your thing. I'm going to do my thing. Are you able to untag yourself?
On Instagram, I am.
Okay.
On Instagram, I'm able to remove the tag, but I can't remove mention. So if they mention me in their caption,
Right.
I can remove the tag. It won't show up on my profile, but I can't remove the fact that they've used my name. I could ask them to take it down, but I can't remove mentions usually, just the actual tag and the fact that it shows up on my page.
Yeah, I hate unscrupulous business practices. And build your own thing, people.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Erik, you have a
Allie, I'm gonna cut this short real fast. I have several people asking more questions about equipment, types of pipes, the pipes that you play on most of your videos. Just one word answer. What are the pipes we see you playing in most of your videos?
McClellan bagpipes.
Are those the 1945 ones
No.
or the 1940s ones? Okay, those are special. You save those.
Yes.
But they're not poly, right? They're wood.
My vintage pipes are
No, the ones you play on your videos.
They are Durlin.
Durlin.
So they are
okay.
synthetic. They're what I call my tour pipes.
Okay.
They're what I travel with.
One of the viewers was wondering that. For anybody who doesn't know, Allie is doing YouTube videos, and one of the content pillars she's got is some basic how-to stuff and tech geek talk stuff about the bagpipes and how to play and what the world out there, the world of bagpipes, is like. So be sure to check her longer form content on YouTube as well as her stuff on TikTok and stuff, because she is doing some deep dives. And while I'm on that, some of the topics that you guys were just discussing, I'd like to remind folks that we also did one of our haggis hunting podcast interview type discussions with Allie, and that will be published in the next couple of weeks. So if you want some other views on what it's like to be an entrepreneur and to be a media creator, I got these guys to put their brains together and give us some answers on that. So look for that in the near future.
I hope you found this video informative. I hope you go ahead and start learning the pipes. If you're needing some support all along the way, I would look up some bagpipe bands in your area and find somebody in there who might be able to help you and teach you on your journey.